name is called. Commissioner Kelly?
Present.
Commissioner Motto?
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Onofrio had an issue and may not be able to join us tonight, although he had planned to. Alternate Commissioner Donato? Okay, and then myself, Commissioner Harger. Mr. Rossetti, is Commissioner Parkins there? What happened to Alex?
I'm just checking. Yep, here she is. Yep.
Okay, Commissioner Parkins?
Just coming in. Give her
Oh, okay. There you go. Commissioner Parkins?
I'm here.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Mr. Rossetti, our administrator.
present.
Ms. Castro, is she participating tonight?
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Vernassos, our recording secretary.
Present.
Mr. Panico, our consultant.
Present.
Okay, and I'd like to just note for the record that Ms. Kelly Vazano, the city administrative assistant, is joining us this evening for one of the agenda items. A couple of notes before continuing with this evening's agenda. Mr. Rossetti will act as a Zoom meeting host, while commissioners will be able to make comments throughout the meeting. The chair asks that you please identify yourself for the record and wait to be recognized so that we're not speaking all over each other, and to make sure the recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. Before we begin this meeting's agenda, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Commissioners Motto and Kelly on their re-election as regular members to the commission. Their new term of office, along with mine, due to my re-election, is until mid-November 2027.
Congrats all.
Thank you.
I just want to say congrats all. Sorry.
And then I'd also like to thank alternate commissioners Onofrio and Donato on their service to the commission. Alternate Commissioner Onofrio started on the commission on November 17th, 2021, and alternate Commissioner Donato has been on the commission since February 8th of this year. Both who will be leaving the commission after next week's meeting. Finally, I'd like to congratulate our two new alternate commissioners, Robert Cristiano and Matt McGee, on their election for 2 years as alternate commissioners. Swearing-in ceremony is Tuesday, November 21st at 6:30 p.m. at the Senior Center for all those elected yesterday. The first meeting of the new commission will be Wednesday, November 29th. As chair, I have the authority to take agenda items out of order. And tonight we'll be starting with other business item B, an 824 referral for the sale of property abutting 74 Harvard Avenue. And I recognize Kelly Vazano, Administrative Assistant for the City of Shelton, to present this agenda item. Ms. Vazano, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, all. This is an 824 referral for the sale of 764 square feet of property as shown on the map that you had been provided. This is property that runs on Harvard Avenue in front of 0 Harvard Avenue as well as 74 Harvard Avenue. And this, by selling this property to Sarah Hartsberg would allow the alleviation of the encroachment that now exists by the front of her home.
Okay. Mr. Rossetti, can you go on Google Earth and pull up the?
Yep, we're doing it. It's just being slow. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. As he's doing that, Ms. Vazano, is there any additional information you want to share?
I'd just like to let the commission know that there is no drainage facility, nor is this part of any utility corridor. So this property would not have any impact to the city.
Okay. I looked at the street view of 74 Harvard earlier this afternoon, and the you would never know that it's encroaching on city right away or property. It's and there's different views of that particular piece of property that you can access by looking at different dates, and it's been, the property is, as it exists today, is much improvement to the area than it was even as early as 10 years ago.
Can I ask how did this come to light? That there was a there was a easement there that apparently is serving no particular purpose.
Right. Alex, do you want to speak of that as and the applicant, the potential applicant came in to speak about home improvement or to present plans? Is that how, Alex, are you on?
I'm here, so correct. Elaine, the homeowner, came in to discuss some additions and proposed some alterations to her house. We noticed that this existing corner of her house is in the city right of way. It's a
Oh.
pre-existing condition. But we aren't authorized to issue a construction permit for someone's property without the knowledge and authorization of the property owners. And seeing that and knowing that the city would want this homeowner to likely have their house on their property,
Yeah,
that has led us to today.
thank you. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this particular house was erected on this piece of property, what was it, like 50, 60 years ago or something?
It is an older home. Yeah.
It is, and it's in the older part of town.
Yes, 1945.
Okay, yeah, so heaven only knows what.
It's like no setbacks there. To
Right.
this-
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, this is between, Tuxedo Avenue is between Quorum Road and street off of where we used to live. We used to live on Highland Avenue, street behind that, it's Hillside, I think. So if you were going up Quorum Road, you would take a left on Hillside and then Tuxedo's off of that. It's
Yeah.
older
Hill
neighborhood for
there,
sure.
Yeah.
So is Mr. Rossetti, do you have that street view yet? There you go. So it's that building right there where the arrow is, gray building, first floor garage. And if you went down the street, you could see it's narrow. Alex, can you click on the see more dates? And that one there from April 2012, the last one. That one. Yep. That's how it used to look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been improved quite a bit. And it's much better for the neighborhood, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
No
do any
question about
commissioners
that.
have any comments, questions, or concerns about this?
No.
No,
Okay, hearing none, is there any commissioner who'd like to make a motion on this 824 referral for a favorable referral?
Yeah, Commissioner Kelly, I'll make that for 824 favorable referral.
Okay, there's a motion to approve an 824 favorable referral from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
Commissioner Parkins will second.
Okay, on the motion from Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Parkins, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Visano, for attending our
Yep.
meeting this evening to present. the-
Yes, thank you
Later.
all for your consideration. Have a good
You're
evening.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. The next agenda item is applications for certificate of zoning compliance. The first one is Merritt Gunsmithing. Alex is the applicant present.
Yes, we're pulling them up.
Okay.
So for some background, this is Alexandria. Background, this is located in PDD number 60. He already had a existing business at 281 and is relocating to 235, which has the same statement of uses, but the requirement is that the Planning and Zoning Commission has to approve it. So here we
Yes.
are.
The building is existing. It's Apex, Star Pin rather. Okay.
You can unmute yourself, Mr. Merritt.
And does he have to start his video?
Hello,
We can hear
it's
you,
the
Mr. Merritt.
Apex Tool and Cutter building.
Okay. Do you have a camera attached to your computer?
Yes, it should be working.
Okay. We don't see on the screen yet.
Testing, 1, 2.
Yeah, we hear you fine. It's just can't see you. So, Mr. Rossetti, okay, here we come. It's coming now. We have a black screen now.
Ah,
There you are.
okay.
Very good. Okay. Just identify yourself for the record, please.
Louis Merritt, the owner of Merritt Gunsmithing.
Okay. And can you just present your proposal to us, please?
I'm just moving my business out of 281 Canal Street since it is being been sold and is now being developed.
Mhm.
And this is a comparable property that John Watts, the owner, has made available to me.
281 Canal is the last building on the right that has
Correct.
received approval from the commission for multifamily residential. So you're moving down the street. You have on your application, it's a one-man shop. You do not sell retail. You do not have public hours at all.
That's correct.
Yeah, you have a pretty unique kind of business with and I was just going to ask what is it that you do for the theatrical kind of?
Primarily, I train actors how to use firearms in theatrical productions without hurting each other.
Ooh, that's
It's
interesting.
very important. I've probably trained over 50 people in the course of 15 years.
Oh, that's interesting. How did you get into that?
I actually started World War II historical reenacting back in the 90s.
All right, very good. And then what are the museum displays? And
I did a big production for Ken Burns's production of The War up in Waterbury at the Mattituck Museum. That was
Very
back in 2006.
okay. All right, so you're going to be doing this by yourself, and you have noted on your application and on your layout that you have security system with the camera is going to be upgraded. You have gating that is going to be installed, security gates inside and out. And there is no access according to the diagram that you supplied between units 2A and 2B.
Correct. That is a closed wall.
Okay. All right. So you'll be up on the second floor. You did supply a color photo of the interior of the space. Are you going to also be able to secure the access from the roof? Is that where that inside staircase that's in the picture goes up to?
Well, actually, that's a closed panel, and the roof access has been closed
Oh,
when they
good.
redid the roof.
Very good. Okay. All right. And then how about number 9 on your application states that the owner of the landscaping business is in Florida and Mr. Watts had been trying to contact him.
Yes, I talked to John Watts the other day. Mr. Watts is currently in North Carolina attending to his father's estate.
Oh.
He talked to the landscape owner and he has no problems with it.
Okay. All right. But they do plan to submit something in writing for the record?
Yes, they said they would send a handwritten note, but it has not come through yet.
Okay. Do any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Merritt?
No.
No, but that's pretty interesting.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around, there's another different kind of
Wow.
business. in
Yeah.
Shelton. So, all right, there aren't any further questions? Does any commissioner have any motion for this particular business application?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, that's Commissioner Amato?
Yes.
Okay, and then should we, Commissioner Amato, would you want to consider adding just the for staff to follow up with making sure that there's a letter from the other tenant in the file with the application?
I'm not sure why.
Well, it was in there for number 9 on his application, that the landlord is trying to contact the other tenant to make sure that he is aware and approves of this new business going in. That's
Is
all.
this a sublease?
Well, Mr. Watts owns the building, and this is a tenant's, one of 2 tenant spaces.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know why they need it from.
Permission from the other
Approval,
tenant.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know either.
it's
That's up to
divided.
them.
Mhm.
Yes, it's closed partition.
Okay,
I was
so it
wondering
doesn't
why
have,
that was asked for myself.
all right, so there is nothing having to do with the nature of the business that we have to be concerned with. Okay, so the motion would stand as from Commissioner Amato, that it's just a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll give you a second.
Okay, so on the motion from Commissioner Amato, second by Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Perkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Merrick. Continued good luck with your business.
All right, thank you very much.
You're
Good night.
welcome. All right, next is Stone Gardens Farm, 40 Huntington Street, for 2 signs which have already been installed. Commissioner Amato, did the zoning subcommittee have a chance to discuss this application?
Yes, we did today. We both Ruth and Peter discussed it. We have no issues. I just like maybe Alex to verify for me that the part of the sign on the right that's on the building, that size wise, has that been checked out?
I did not check the sizing on that. There was no measurement with it. But it looks like it took over the existing size that, oh, there it goes. It took over the existing size that was there.
Oh, the emblem, the one on the right, though, it just has Stone
It
Gardens
says stone.
Farm Market.
On the brick, but this
Yeah, the
measurement is
brick.
there. It's on the bottom.
Oh,
I see it now.
okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
14. Aye. 100
yeah, 6 and 14 inches high, 151 inches across.
Right.
So. All right, and then how about the other one, the emblem kind of, the illuminated wall sign? Does that meet all of our requirements as well?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, any commissioners have any questions for Ms. Castro?
So now that I'm seeing, this is Commissioner Parkins, now that I'm seeing them both side, are they allowed to have 2 signs on the street front?
No, there's only supposed to be 1 sign per wall. Which we can
One-
call this 2 walls or 1 face.
Well, Commissioner Parkins will remember, I think along with Commissioners Votto and Lascos, that we had a discussion when Chase Bank on
Yep.
Bridgeport Avenue wanted
Looking at
to
it from a different angle.
add.
Yes, I just wonder why they need 2 signs.
Exactly.
And why it's so big. Oh my God. I don't know. It just seems, there were 2 signs, if you look down on the right at
Yes.
Common Bond. So there's already but it's tiny, you can't even see it.
Yeah, the rightmost one is, very small.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very small.
And the old,
So they're replacing, in a sense, something that was there, but the size of it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is the applicant present at the meeting, Mr. Rossetti?
I'm not sure if the applicant is on, so if they're on, they would have to raise their hand.
Okay. If anyone is here from Stone Gardens, would you please raise your hand to be identified so that we could have you join the meeting?
Okay, hang on.
Were there 2 signs there previously?
Yes,
There were,
But they probably might not have been approved.
that's true.
Exactly.
A gentleman named Allen is coming in.
Common Bond, wait a minute.
This is the old Beechwood
Common Bond
Market.
Market, is that what was there?
Yes, exactly.
This was Beechwood and then it changed to Common
Your
Bond.
common bond, right.
And they closed earlier in the spring, and Monahan's took over this particular facility.
which we're happy about, right?
Yes,
The only
Nice.
thing I can figure out is that the last approval might have interpreted the big circular sign as a logo, not a sign.
Mm-hmm.
In some respects, this is a logo also.
mhm.
It does repeat the same verbiage that's on the main sign.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not personally bothered by it, but if it doesn't meet our regulations regarding having two signs, because the one that's over the big window is a sign,
The
whether it's a logo or.
regulation doesn't state the face or the front or street. It says per wall.
So it's a different wall, because it's,
Yeah, you might consider the wall being around the corner, but not necessarily.
Mr. Panico, can we get your interpretation on that, please?
They are both signs. Both signs are oriented in the same direction and on the facade of the building. It really doesn't qualify for a second sign. How it got approved to begin with, I don't know. If it
This
ever
was
got
not brought
approved.
before the commission.
It wasn't
but-
approved.
It
but the
wasn't.
common bond may or may not have been approved if they, they're feeling like they're replacing what was there.
Okay,
uh,
so,
knows.
should we table
Applicant
this
is
to give, staff a chance to, do some research on the common bond approval?
I don't have any record of
There's-
it.
there's
The
an-
applicant is ready to speak.
Okay, if the applicant is present, please identify yourself for the record.
Alan,
It's, is your audio on mute? Ms. Castro or Mr. Rossetti, can you tell whether or not the applicant has been muted or,
it didn't look like that on our end.
okay? If there is someone from Stone Gardens that would like to make comments, please identify yourself for the record and proceed. Well, we've given them 2 opportunities to speak up. I don't know what the situation is, but I recommend that we just table this application and give staff a chance to investigate exactly what the situation is. Had been with Common Grounds. There's got to be something in the file.
We only have the business approval. I don't have anything for the sign on record. I already researched.
Okay, I will be more than happy to look through my files.
How about on record for the previous,
That's what we're saying, common bond.
no.
Oh, you talk about
Before-
Beechwood?
Before that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beechwood?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything for Beechwood on the files?
Well, that's what would need to be researched. So not to delay matters, can someone make a motion to table for this particular application so that the staff can do research on the previous?
How
approvals,
long is
if
that?
any?
That building doesn't look that old though. I don't think it would have predated our zoning regulations.
No,
No.
no, not at all. No, but there's got to be something there.
And
I'll
also,
make that motion,
you need
Commissioner
you need
Kelly,
to
I'll
see
make the
what it
motion.
was. It could have been just a logo.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so there's a motion to table from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Adam.
Commissioner Amato seconded. So on the motion to table, made by Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Amato. Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion to table is passed by a vote of 6-0.
Staff can also check in the event that a variance was granted. I don't know.
Right,
There's
Hmm.
a
okay.
lot of possibilities.
All right, so we'll move on to application 2313, PDD number 91. Fountain Square, Dominic Thomas from Fountain Square LLC at 745 to 795 Bridgeport Avenue. Assessors map 21, lot 18 for a major modification of a PDD, modification of initial development plans, and final site development plan approval, including removal of the proposed hotel, office building and fountain for replacement with 145 residential units, including 18% affordable units, on-site parking, and a public gathering area. This application was accepted for review on August 9th, 2023 on the city's website. Is the third amended statement of uses and standards, associated site and floor plans, different building elevations, a traffic study, newspaper, magazine articles, letters from tenants, and an attorney on behalf of 3 Enterprise Drive. The public hearing opened August 30th, was continued. The continuation was October 18th, when revised plans were reviewed that included parking under the building, and the public hearing was closed on that date. So we need to discuss how we want to go forward on this particular application. Does anybody on the commission want to present any comments to start off?
I'll say, as to the hotel, the developer can't make a hotel go there. I mean, that was, a lot of commentary from the alderman that they wanted it to be a hotel, but if they haven't been able to find a hotel in all this time and the project seems to be languishing, has been for a long time, I don't personally have any objection to the concept of apartments. I do have questions about the design.
Okay. Could you just, what you said at the beginning as to residential, I think you're.
Oh, why not?
Quite,
something.
Okay. Who else?
This is Commissioner Kelly. I don't agree with that statement, because even though what's going to happen is we're going to open up a Pandora's box for the rest of Bridgeport Avenue, which we have rejected multiple times, apartment houses. So, and as well as I know, is that if we accept this, we're going to be marched in with a plethora of applications for apartment houses. And they're going to say, well, you did this one, why can't you do, so on and so forth. I think we should, I personally is going to stand my ground and not approve it.
Okay. I feel myself that this is an inappropriate modification of the original PDD that was approved for this site in 2018 and amended afterwards in 2019 and 2020. Excuse me, the original PDD did not include a multifamily residential requirement, and I do not feel that this change brings any benefit to the community. The commission had come to a consensus to deny multifamily residential buildings in the Perkin-Elmer parking lot at 710 Bridgeport Avenue in July 2020 and at One Parrot Drive in October 2020. And I feel that we should do the same here. Any other commissioner want to speak up?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I think the initial plan was a fine one with the hotel, and they made their case as to why at that time the hotel was needed. I think we've added a lot of apartments with an eye towards more affordable units, but I don't support this change for more apartments. And Bridgeport Avenue is really overwhelmed in some parts at many points in the day. And I think as we continue to develop on Bridgeport Avenue, especially if it's residential apartments, we really need to work with our partners at the state to see what can be done. Is it additional lanes in some part or other infrastructure efforts, as that roadway, which is a main artery, is really getting overwhelmed. So I do not agree with the 145 residential units on this development.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Ticky, Commissioner Parkins or Commissioner Lascos?
Yeah, I'll add in. I was not on the commission at the time that this was approved, but I would just ask that, that the commissioners that were, just ask yourself, had this been originally proposed for apartments, would you have approved the PDD? And if the answer to that is no, then there should not be this change allowed, because it just, I personally think that whole center is going to turn into a fiasco. And I just think adding apartments.
That's the concern. And
Yeah.
that's the concern. I mean, it has been a disaster, it seems. And if it's a credible claim that they need to have this to make this become viable rather than a white elephant, it's a mess. I mean,
But it wasn't designed to be, as Attorney Thomas keeps referring to, live,
Yeah.
work, play. It was not designed to be that type of development. And it just doesn't have the room to be that type of development.
It's not the same as the one he keeps
You know, the hotel was a good
about in
fit,
Oxford. Not the same.
well,
Mhm.
not by any stretch.
Right.
This is Commissioner Lasco, so I'm not in favor of this modification. I was on the commission for the Perkin-Elmer one you referenced in late 2019, 2020 for working on Fountain Square. So, but not the original.
Any further comments from the commission? So is there, as I'm hearing, a consensus for the commission to ask that staff develop a unfavorable resolution on this particular application?
Yes.
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 Okay. All right, hearing such, staff is directed to prepare a unfavorable resolution for action at a upcoming meeting. Mr. Panico, do you have any comments, questions, or concerns?
No, everybody's comments make sense if that's how they feel.
Mhm.
We did have interest by other hotel people on other sites in the not too far locations. So it seems that there is some market. But apparently this developer has no desire to put a hotel. And if the commission doesn't feel that the housing is a reasonable use in the area and that it might set a bad precedent after they've held their decisions back on prior apartment proposals in industrial and office areas. And quite frankly, this is in an office and industrial area, even though it's the back end. It's the back end of the shopping center and you access through the shopping center, but it's exposed to and impacts to some degree the area around it. If that's the direction the commission would like to go, we'll assemble something for them to look at and see whether we've touched all the necessary bases.
Okay. All right, does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
All right, then we'll move along. Next old business item is B, application 2314 Daybreak Bridge. Dominic Thomas for Daybreak Bridge LLC at 84 River Road, Assessors Map 94, Lot 89 for a planned development district and final site development plan approval on 12.39 acres to expand the approved 36-unit condominium development, which were in applications number 1906 and 2117, with an additional 28 units for a total of 64 units with on-site parking. This application was accepted for review on August 9th, 2023 on the city's website. At the beginning of the public hearing on August 30th were the initial and corrected zone change applications, statement of uses and standards, original and revised site plans, building elevations, a traffic study, and a letter from 2 residents. Since that time, the following items were posted: a revised site plan with the conservation easement, an aerial of the site plan, a memo regarding the PDD eligibility, a pre-blast letter and certificates of mailing, separate reports from the fire marshal and the city engineer, and responses from Rose Tizo to the city engineer's report. Public hearing for this application opened August 30th and was continued to September 20th, and it was continued again to allow the applicant to respond to the fire marshal and the city engineer reports. On October 18th, the commission heard revised plans and closed the public hearing. What comments would the commissioners like to make on this particular proposal?
This Commissioner Ticky, I can go first because I think I might have been the only commissioner that voted against the initial. I had great concerns about the traffic, the density, what we heard from neighbors about wildlife, about the land, and really didn't care for the layout of the buildings at that point. We spent a lot of time looking at the drop off and the grades and how they butted up against the decks and the houses that were proposed. So I have all the same concerns, and I don't think that we should increase it from 28 units, which I was against, to the 64. And think we need to be mindful as applicants might get an approval and then come back for one reason or another to increase their density. We should have these conversations in a holistic way and get a sense from them. And that's the approval they've got. And we are seeing they come back for more. And I think we just need to be mindful about that, about the approvals that we give. So not in support of this application.
I'd like to comment as well. I was thinking about this conservation easement, and I was wondering why we didn't ask for that in the first place. And it's probably because, well, one, I didn't think of it, but secondly, we granted already the maximum density on that site by special exception in a way that should have made it a better development for, easier for the developer because they have to do less blasting, less road work, better for the neighborhood, less of an impact, and better for the land, leaving, what was remaining untouched. And I think that's what we expected to happen there. And I still think that's how it should end up.
Okay. You're good.
Commissioner Kelly, I agree with both Commissioner Amato and Commissioner Ticky. I just can't see building, you're going from 100 feet up, basically, and you're taking away the hill. That's all you're doing is blasting away the hill. We granted the original, and that was kind of a Hail Mary grant.
Yeah.
And
he had a right to develop it as an R3. He had a right to that number of units.
I understand, but it's not proven either, because we really, they can say, okay, the rock is stable and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But until it's developed and you go through a scenario, you really don't know. So that's all I have to say.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This presentation about why it would be eligible for a PDD seems so tortured that I really couldn't follow it, and I can't buy it that's maybe there's a legal argument there, but we're not legally required to grant it. And saying that it's now a PDD because there's a pre-existing non-conforming restaurant across the street, it's painful.
No, that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Commissioners Laskos or Parkins? Do you have anything?
I would agree with what Elaine just said, because I think I'm the one that asked the question, what made it eligible for a PDD. And I still don't.
Did it make your head hurt?
Yeah, it did. I still don't agree with it, but more so, I believe I was on this project has been before the commission for many years, I believe, because I believe I was on the commission when it first came up, and we just kind of felt it was being shoehorned in, didn't quite give them all and it was with Tony Pagoda when he was on the commission, and it was being shoehorned in. So there was only I think 34 units that were originally proposed, and then I got off the commission for whenever this was. But again, what concerns me is the eligibility for the PDD, and also the buildings that are going up on top are eight units to a building. That's just crazy. That's crazy. It's like row housing, right? It's just so I'm not in favor of this expansion.
Okay.
Or PDD.
Oh, and I have another comment. No, there was a point made that the affordable, making some of them affordable, that you can do that with a sale, with a condo sale, and that sort of situation might appeal to a senior who wouldn't be so concerned about selling down the line at a profit like most people want to do with their housing. But these units are not suitable for seniors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This
Okay.
Commissioner Laskos, I'm not in favor of the expansion with the grades and in the elevations, like Commissioner Kelly was talking about.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I think my fellow commissioners have presented some very valid points, and I think we're all on the same page that this particular project, again, as I always try to approach things, is this serve the community, and I don't see it as adding
Good point.
anything.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then do we have a consensus among the commission that we should ask staff to prepare an unfavorable resolution?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as there appears there's a consensus for denial, staff is asked to prepare an unfavorable resolution for action by the commission at an upcoming meeting. Okay, next on the agenda, we have new business, and the first, let me just start off with item E. The applicant had informed staff earlier today that they are not ready to move. We're not able to have a presentation ready for tonight, so we will not be doing any action on that. But going back, the first four, A through D, those are all applications to set for review, except for review instead of public hearing. So the first one is 2323 Dominic Thomas, representing Ivy Brook LLC at 7 Ivy Brook Road, Assessors Map 65, Lot 12, in an LIP zone on 3.07 acres for a special exception to provide for a 40,875 square foot building with office space, warehousing, and private storage of motor vehicles with 85 proposed on-site parking spaces. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
Commissioner Ticky will make that motion.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Kelly will second.
Okay, and the motion made by Commissioner Ticky, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. Commissioner Parkins? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
I'm trying, I don't-
Sorry about that. I
It's
couldn't
okay.
get off. Computer problems today. Aye.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Next is application 2324, Dominic Thomas, representing David Chukta, for a zone change of parcels identified as Assessors Map 92, Lot 85, Map 78, Lot 123, and Map 79, Lot 1, totaling about 6.96 acres, currently zoned R1 and R2 to the R3 zone. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Commissioner
Commissioner
Ticky.
Laskos, I'll second.
Okay, so on the motion made by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Laskos. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by vote 6-0. Third item is application 2326, 10 Long Hill Avenue LLC at 10 Long Hill Avenue, Assessors Map 117B, Lot 49, in a CB-2 zone on 0.66 acres for a planned development district and initial development plan approval of 19 residential units with on-site parking. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
I'll make the motion to accept and set a public hearing date.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Commissioner
I'll
Parkins will second.
Commissioner Laskos.
Okay, who wants it?
Didn't give it to Commissioner Laskos.
All right, Commissioner Laskos.
All right.
Okay, so on the motion from Commissioner Motto, seconded by Commissioner Laskos, Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Fourth item, application 2327, Walden Local Meat
Meat.
at 7 Progress Drive, Assessors Map 28, Lot 26, for a special exception under 42D in an LIP zone for a wholesale business and supply facility. Is there a motion to accept for review and for staff to set a public hearing?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Ticky has the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Commissioner
Commissioner
Kelly.
Kelly has seconded. So on the motion made by Commissioner Ticky, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky.
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Okay, we are now down to,
And say, we're not
Um,
getting any less busy.
we will be busy. It's, we can't even say it's seasonal. It's constant. So, all right, so skipping over the 2319 that I talked about. We're going on to application 2325. And is there a motion to accept this for review and discussion, presentation by the applicant and possible action?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll make that motion.
Okay. And is there a second?
Sure, Commissioner Dickey will second.
Okay. So on the motion to accept for review and presentation and a possible action, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky.
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Okay, so is the applicant present? If so, please state your name for the record and proceed.
Attorney Dominic Thomas, Conan Thomas, 315 Main Street, Dearborn, Connecticut, representing the applicant. This is an application by Fountain Square LLC and FS Shelton, the owner of the property, to modify the make minor modification to the detailed development plans. Listening to the earlier comments, I do want to comment that the current owners have been making every effort to try to move the project forward. They have been successful and address the financing issues that have hounded the project. And one of them was that early on, and the individuals who were involved at the beginning made proposals that frankly were of an enormous expense and which impacted the financial wherewithal of the project. One of those was the proposal to have granite curbing throughout. The project, as it was developed and going along, a portion of granite curbing was put in. When these the current owners, Highview Homes, made every effort to bring things forward and get the financing done, the major tenant, Chick-fil-A, went in with its building plans, and granite curbing, not only is it grossly expensive, or very expensive, it is also was for a while in some short supply. But regardless, Chick-fil-A was approved, and all its plans were approved with extruded concrete curbing. At that point, not rushing, but getting the property ready for other tenants who were now lining up to come in, the current owners began putting, like in the buildings that they needed to lease, extruded concrete curbing, at which point it was pointed out that the original plans had granite curbing throughout, which is a relatively expensive process. So the end result of that was this application. And what we have for you is I have uploaded a plan that was prepared by Rose Tizo, showing you where the curbing, where the granite curbing is, where the extruded concrete curbing is, and where the proposal is to put extruded concrete curbing. So if I could screen share. I don't know if you can see my screen at this point.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm going to blow this up a little bit for you and show you the legend at the top. I hope you can see it in color. Whatever you want to call it, purple or not quite purple, I guess a pinkish is existing concrete curb. The light blue is existing granite curb. The green is proposed concrete curb, and the blue is proposed granite curbing. So let me get my, it's not operating appropriately, so I'll use the wheel. So as you can see here, I think I went to page 2, and I think page 2 may be easier to see it because it's with the proper split. So as you can see, the existing granite curbing is around here and is around here and various others. And it actually, and you'll see in the photo exhibit that I have, it actually comes up and approaches, and in a couple of spots is across a walkway from extruded concrete, and in a couple of other spots it is actually abutting it. We do not think it creates any adverse imaging, and extruded concrete curbing is what is done in almost, and I know you do not like the bituminous curbing. This is not that. They're doing the extruded concrete curbing, and as you can see, this already has it installed, and it's installed all around the Chick-fil-A site, and it's installed throughout the Chick-fil-A site, and this is where the granite curbing is. The client wishes to install the extruded concrete curbing in these areas in the back here, all around what we call the 785 building, and have that done here to do that, and that would be proposed extruded concrete curbing. And then over in the other side, the extruded concrete curbing, I believe this is, this is existing granite curbing, and they will, the proposal is that around the Goddard School, they will still do the granite curbing. For the project that you reached a consensus to reject tonight, they were going to do granite curbing, and I think that'll just have to be in abeyance till we come back in with what is going to go up there, because I believe what is going to go up there will be have some concerns about the financial cost of it in order to get what we will be filing up there. So that can stay in abatement because you have just rejected it. So the point is that you will get the granite curbing around the, there are some tenants looking at this building currently, and the preschool, that will all be the granite curbing. And as I said, the real proposal is to be able to put, to modify the site plan to allow the extruded concrete that has gone in. And like I said, Chick-fil-A submitted its site plan and they were approved for it, and to allow us to the client to be able to do the extruded concrete curbing here. And give you some idea, these are some current photos, well, within the last month or so. The area, we're showing you here the area of the extruded concrete curbing along Chick-fil-A. I'm assuming you can see this screen share at this point too?
Yeah. Attorney Thomas, I just want to know for the record that Commissioner Lascos had to leave our meeting and will not be with us for the rest of our meeting. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so that's it. This is again a photo of the Chick-fil-A area with the extruded concrete curbing and the extruded concrete curbing. And this is a little bit earlier. Obviously, this has been landscaped in preparation for Chick-fil-A's opening, and there's extruded concrete curbing here. And this is the entrance to 795, the front building. This is a picture of the extruded concrete curbing along the side of the 795 building and along the Parrot Drive area of the, so you can see it's well done, looks very nice. And this is a picture looking up into the
The parking lot of
up
Chick-fil-A.
into the large
Right.
building. And I do think unfortunately, I do think the photo packet that I have is not the photo packet, I'm going to be honest, that I uploaded because I had some other pictures and I think it just when it copied over, it copied over the wrong one. And
There
I
were
don't know
9
if,
pictures in this particular set.
okay, I believe let me just. Oh, it does have, I'm sorry, my apology. It
Yeah,
does
keep-
have. This is an area here at the end of Chick-fil-A. This is an area here where the extruded concrete curbing of Chick-fil-A and the granite curbing blend together and come together.
Mm.
And here, this is an area here where you have a sidewalk with extruded concrete here and the granite here. They are, I mean, you could stare at them. Obviously, if you're close enough, if you know what you're looking at, that you could see it. But other than that, it's not very discernible. And finally, this is an area here in the, this is during recently, within the last week, this is an area in the Chick-fil-A parking lot where the granite and the concrete curbing come together. That's what it looks like close up, which I had to be very careful because it was when there was an enormous backup for Chick-fil-A and there was a police officer directing traffic. He was kind enough to prevent them from running me over. And this is that same view from the other side of the driveway. As you can see, it is almost imperceptible to see the difference. And it is a substantial financial saving for the developers in completing the rest of the area, including the ability to do the granite around Goddard School. So I'm here to answer any questions. I'm not sure if David Gunier is still on, if he can be admitted and he can answer any questions.
Attorney Thomas, can you zoom in on this edging here?
Zoom in on this picture that I have
Yep.
up now.
Yeah, up as close as you can to the curbing.
Okay.
Would you mind sliding the picture up?
The picture before, if I could, the picture before, okay, this one.
All right, yeah,
is-
just slide it up.
That's the
Okay.
integration between both.
Yeah. My question is, after the extruded concrete curbing is installed, this looks a little rough around the edges. Does somebody come back with something to polish it so it doesn't look so industrial?
First of all, this was installed by Chick-fil-A. Second of all, I think what you're looking at is a tire from
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
the
you're right.
8.5 million people that went to Chick-fil-A over the first week of its opening. I mean, literally, so you understand where I'm standing across the street, the cars were backed up through the 7985 parking lot and around, and there was a police officer at either end and one letting them come 2 by 2 to go in the lanes. So
Now, I
I'm
understand what the
assuming,
traffic conditions were like, but
yeah, so I'm
our
assuming.
concern
this-
is about the appearance here. That's
Right,
mine.
these are tire marks, which would be.
In both areas, even on the left?
No, that's,
Where are you talking
No.
about, right
The
here?
left is
No,
granite.
to the left more.
the
No,
left
that's where
is
where you
Right
integrate
there.
between both. Yeah.
This is granite here.
that's
Right.
the granite.
Okay, so that's
This
the
is granite,
granite,
comes
and
up
next
against
to
the
it is the
concrete.
extruded.
Yeah. and I'm sure there are areas of the granite with tire marks on it. The only difference is if you hit the granite hard enough with your tire, it'll cause a flat.
What's
Whereas
the
extruded
durability of the concrete?
What?
What would be the durability of the concrete versus the granite?
Concrete's very durable. I don't understand what you're about. Concrete is what you.
The
approve in
lifespan,
many
I think
other
she's talking
projects.
about the lifespan.
Lifespan, I don't, we're in a PDD, so if there's any crumbling, it has to be done, but there hasn't been any issues in other PDDs that have extruded concrete in them.
Could you back up a picture, please?
This way,
Yes, and
No,
one more. Yeah, could you zoom in? That's from the other direction. Just raise it up a bit. So you have.
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Hold on one second, let me get rid of, and I don't mean this the wrong way, I had to get rid of you because you're blocking my, okay. Is that what you wanted?
We're just about done.
Yeah, if you could just slide it to the left a little. All right, so we have on the edge around the curve is the extruded concrete. We got some granite slabs. Keep going to the right.
This is the
That's granite.
That's granite.
that's the granite.
Move it again to the left. Please. And where does the extruded concrete start here?
The extruded concrete, this is all granite.
That's all granite, okay.
It's all granite on this side, it's all extruded concrete on this side.
Okay, got it.
This is the Chick-fil-A site. They have all extruded concrete within their.
Did they do that or did the developer do that?
They did that. They did their development.
They meaning
They
Chick-fil-A.
brought their plans in, got their approval and went and built it. The developer this was not a developer build situation.
Well, did that the developer have any
They
kind of
oversight or oversee if it was supposed to be
Developers
for
only
plans and
resp-
specs that was initially approved?
No, the developer's only responsibility was to prepare the site, level it. That was it. And then they took over, and I don't know if Alex is on. Alex explained to me when we were talking about this, that they came in with their plans and their plans, developer was not involved.
well, how about at the other pads where Panera is?
Panera
put in
has.
All that
granite.
edging.
Granite was done that was done. I believe it was done even before this owner took over he was involved somewhat, but that was done, and granite curbing before the financial, whatever you want to call it, the financial issues
Mhm.
that went on for 2.5 years between that and the pandemic. But that was already done over there. And then
But were the islands, and I forget, were the islands incorporated in this with the initial plans? As you see it now, or was that?
the islands you see? Yeah,
Chick-fil-A?
the islands were the development, the plans as they were modified as they went along for Chick-fil-A were like this. Yeah,
Initially,
the
though,
site plans, the site plans.
initially. What I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
I don't know.
Attorney
if
Thomas, is that if this was for the initial concept of the area, normally what they do is that they'll buy it in bulk and they'll stockpile it on the site so they can use it. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, there is some pieces around. They did not buy in that bulk. I don't even want to get into the financial decisions that were made.
Okay, all right. That's what I mean, extruded concrete it looks fine. It's just that it's the mismatch of one to the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, again, it also would be, you know, they want to be able to the rear of they have many tenants anxious to get into the 790, the main thing here, the 785 building, and they want to be able to use extruded concrete. That is an enormous savings to the clients, but they're saying we will, with respect to Goddard, we will do that area there, that end of the site
So they probably have enough.
with the
for that.
granite.
They probably have
Excuse
enough
me?
on site for that.
They have some on site, but they're able to get some.
Okay.
Prices have edged down a little bit.
you know, I really have some serious concerns about that. I appreciate all the efforts that the applicant has done to move this project along and to get things up and running. But I just don't want this to look trashy in some areas where Goddard School's got this nice granite curving,
I honestly,
and then we have this.
Madam Chairman, I take offense with the fact that the comments about this looking trashy. It does not look trashy.
It's just
And
a
I take honestly,
mishmash.
and the
It doesn't
developer,
look appropriate when these two different styles are abutting each other.
you can't even tell it, but it does not look trashy, because if it did, then you've approved PDDs with trashy concrete curbing.
Maybe trashy wasn't the correct word for me to say, but it looks like a hodgepodge here. I don't see how
What
one
Commissioner
blends
Hart
into
was
the
saying is
other.
that if it was one, it should be all of one. If it was the other, it should be all of the other. I guess it's the integration between both of them that is it's not sloppy, but you can tell the difference.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The area
I
that you wanna-
personally wouldn't notice. I just would not notice. It's just not a kind of thing that I would.
Well,
notice.
that's true too. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, we're really staring at it, but I think in the course of using these businesses and driving around and doing things, I
Well,
can't
most
imagine.
of the rest of the projects, they have extruded concrete curbing, you know.
And keep in mind that the area we're talking about to put the extruded concrete where it isn't is simply most of the area behind 785. The big building.
All right, why don't you put that site plan one up again and let's look at that. Okay.
The green is the area of the proposed
right.
extruded concrete.
Now, I don't have a problem with that. That's in the rear. That's not going to get too much visibility. Could you shift it up a bit so we look at the lower portion?
Well, the lower portion is what exists.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You have the granite and the light blue. So the granite's all in front of 785 is all granite.
The light blue where right below where it says retail number 1.
The retail number 1, that's all
Yep.
granite.
That's all green.
The only place to be extruded concrete is here. Let me go up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Is on the side here and in the back.
Okay. I don't have any problem with that. And you've got granite down there. It's this area by Chick-fil-A that those two different types. And you know, the picture that you showed of the inside of the parking, that looks nice and neat and everything, but on the outside where you got the two different styles, ugh. So that's how I feel about it. Just that section down there. And on the other side where
I'm not, are you talking about this area?
Yep. Yeah.
Along here, I'm sorry, where is,
It was like picture number 6, where you took the picture facing that one. Yeah. See, the inside looks fine where the parking spots are. If you move that picture a little bit to the right and up, how far
Well, one of the
around does
reasons-
the granite go around the corner, Attorney Thomas? To the right?
this is what
doesn't.
Chick-fil-A.
No,
is.
the other way. That way, yeah.
On the
Granite goes,
backside,
granite goes,
it's
this
all
is all
granite.
granite. This is
That
all
backside's
granite.
all granite. Okay. So it's
I mean,
at that
remember,
point.
you're looking at it on a rainy day,
Yeah.
so
I
as the light
understand.
reflects, it's gonna look differently.
All right, so on the backside, the driveway is all granite. It's just down to the end. All right.
This is all granite all the ways along here,
Yep,
and Chick-fil-A put all extruded concrete along here.
okay. Okay,
This
Well, how
Commissioner Dickey, I'm
Go ahead.
fine. I'm fine with this, and I'm fine with the plan. And I do think this photo was on a gray, rainy day. Sometimes different pieces of concrete might have had different wetness, so there's I think, some shading here in what you're seeing. I'm fine with the plan proposed.
that's a good point, Commissioner Dickey. I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay,
Yeah, because concrete's more porous than granite.
okay, there you go. Okay,
I don't have a problem with it either.
I don't either.
okay, so is there any commissioner that'd like to make a motion on this particular application?
Before we ask for a motion,
Oh.
I would just like to provide a comment that I don't think the concrete will hold up as well as the granite, showing
Okay.
tire marks, crumbling, etc. So to represent it as such, I think is not quite.
I didn't say it would hold up as long. The granite's gonna be much longer. The granite, there is not that, but again.
You
there
said it's
are extruded-
durable.
The requirement is that you have to maintain it. This isn't a PDD. You saw that, and I've been through, I mean, I've gotten many of the PDDs approved, especially the commercial ones. And with the extruded concrete, you drive through them. Granted, if there's a problem, if somebody crashes into it or something, the developer fixes it up. If they don't, I'm sure your staff would be out there. If one of you noticed it, you would tell them to fix it up. Extruded concrete's a lot easier to repair also. To replace, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make the point that it's not as durable as granite. So to have
No, it
made
is
that.
not.
Okay,
Granite
I
is
just
a
wanted
hell
you
of a
to,
lot-
I just wanted you to clarify your statement.
Yeah, no, I
Thank
didn't
you.
mean it was as durable. I meant the look similar, not durability. That's,
So if-
it's pretty
if-
obvious.
If the
Concrete.
developer thinks that it's going to be cheaper to continually repair and replace the extruded concrete over putting in granite, then that's up to him, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think the developer is very familiar with the experience, and it isn't that often that you have to do it. But you're right, it does have a shorter lifespan.
Okay, and I think people haven't noticed down the street at Crown Point Plaza where Wendy's is and all the other buildings, there was quite a bit of replacement this past summer and along the curbing. So it does happen that things do have to be replaced. Okay, is there any other comments? If not, is there a commissioner who would like to make a motion on this application?
Commissioner Dickey will motion for approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Commissioner Kelly will second it.
Okay, so on the motion made by Commissioner Dickey for approval, seconded by Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Parkins,
aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Dickey,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 5-0.
All right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. We'll go on to the public portion. If there's anyone from the public who would like to make a comment on an item not on the agenda, please use Zoom's raise your hand feature or dial *9 on your phone.
It's not upset. You're getting me upset. Everybody's getting upset.
Mr. Rossetti, is there anyone that has used this raise your hand feature?
Yes, Tom Harbinson should be coming on in a second.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. I'm not going to really reference it, but the chair mentioned about Crown Point. They did change out all of their extruded concrete curbing to be granite, and that was done this summer. I
Okay.
assume that was for maintenance issues, but they also did improve the standing seam metal roofs and the windows. So nice to see improvements being done to existing properties. But my question for the public portion was regarding some applications for development that have been outstanding for quite a period of time. And I wondered if there's some sort of statute as to when things need to be resolved by. Specifically, as one example would be the development on Long Hill Avenue and Mohawk Drive. Because that application was made back in October of 2022. And the last time anything occurred on it was in March with some fire marshal comments. So I know there's a 65-day statute that can be extended and such, but could somebody enlighten me as to what the status would be or what is allowed under state statute for extending public hearings?
Okay, is that the only one, Mr. Harbinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, staff should communicate with Mr. Harbinson and show him the applicable regulation in our zoning manual that would apply to here. And I do know for some projects, we've been waiting for peer reviews, and Mr. Rossetti has been diligent about checking back with the outside engineering firms that have been conducting that to check on their progress.
Certainly. Just didn't realize it went on for a year. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, next is other business, and first is, oh, is there anybody else on the public?
I don't see anybody.
Okay,
And just, I would let, is anyone from the public who would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. Okay,
we're good.
yep.
Okay, then we'll move on to other business, and first is the release of the $25,000 soil and erosion control bond for Nichols Place. Mr. Rossetti, have any comments?
Yeah, this is a project finished up by AJ Grasso over by Trumbull. The site's been stabilized for a full planting season. They've addressed a few water runoff issues that we had draining down towards the back. And we had to experiment a couple times, so we appreciate the developers' flexibility and continuing to work with us, but we're pretty satisfied with how it is. And that's it.
Okay. All right, so is there any questions for Mr. Rossetti? Is there a motion to approve the release of the $25,000 soil and erosion control bond for Nichols Place?
I'll make that motion, Commissioner Kelly.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky will second.
Okay, on the motion from Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Ticky. Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Motto?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 5-0. Next is a review of the 2024 meeting dates. Does any commissioner have any comments on the memo that came out that showed the dates?
Not at this time.
Good.
No.
Okay. Mr. Panico, did you see the list? You're on mute, Mr. Panico. Mr. Panico, you're on mute. Here you are.
I was asking, would you excuse me? I have an issue to deal with
Sure,
here.
go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm very sorry.
Not a problem,
okay.
no worries. Okay, so that's at 7:24 that Mr. Panico left the meeting. And so no other concerns by the commission? So is there a motion to approve the 2024 meeting dates?
Commissioner Parkins will make that motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second it, Commissioner Kelly.
Okay, and a motion from Commissioner Parkins, seconded by Commissioner Kelly to approve the 2024 meeting dates. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Motto?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 5-0. Next are comments on two topics from staff. Mr. Rossetti, you have the floor.
Okay, the first item is just that Alexandria predominantly has worked very hard for many months on codifying the regulations, which just to clarify is just organizing all the changes that have been done over many years and publishing them in a codified format, in a singular format. Those are online. If you have a chance to review them during your abundant free time, feel free to do so. Please let us know if you have picked up on anything that we haven't picked up on. We're not making any changes that the commission hasn't already reviewed. This is stuff that you guys have already processed. We're just trying to clean it up and have one solidified version.
Mhm.
So that's update 1. Update 2. The state has passed some legislation that impacts zoning. And let me just pull up my notes quickly. So a couple things. One is zoning enforcement officers must, not only do towns have to have a ZEO, but they must maintain their accreditation through continuing education, just like you would expect any other profession.
Mhm.
Outdoor dining is now a permitted right for restaurants by administrative plan review. And there are criteria that we can review, such as where and to what extent and how late. But it is a right that restaurants have, assuming they meet the criteria. The state updated the density limit of cannabis facilities. They removed so it used to be one establishment per 25,000 residents. That has been lifted due to demand. So towns that have authorized the use of cannabis facilities, I would imagine are going to start seeing a bigger influx in requests. And then we have
Alex, there's no limit on population? Is that what you're saying for the cannabis?
that's how it reads. So if now towns may have their own. So this is from the state, from their licensing. They used to only give out one license per 25,000 residents. That has been lifted due to demand. But if towns, correct.
Yeah.
Or maybe just some general cap for the entire state. I'm not sure on that part. But for towns, what that means is, if you had a town of 50,000, you're probably only going to get 2 stores. Or depending on how
by the old limits, but now there's no limit.
Correct. However, zoning is allowed to have limits on locations and zoning. So if municipalities said, well, we would allow the use of a circus within 10,000 feet of a school and a cannabis facility within 5,000 feet of blank, but no closer than 5,000 feet of a residence, or you can come up with ways to zone for different uses. So that's
So
where
we need to do that, and we have a time frame in mind.
so we will at some point. For now, we are still covered under not engaging in any cannabis activities except for personal use, which we don't have any jurisdiction over.
Correct.
All right. A big flip has been, it's gone back and forth a number of times. Prior to this year, the Zoning Board of Appeals was the authority acting as a state agency for the approvals for DMV locations. That has changed back to the Planning and Zoning Commissions.
You're saying DMV locations. You're not talking about Department of Motor Vehicle Facilities.
I am talking about.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so DMV licensed facilities.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Not where you go to the DMV
Right.
licensed facilities, automotive repair, locations. They used to be a zoning board of appeals. It's now back to planning and zoning commissions. Apparently, maybe some of you were around. That's how it was at some point in history. So it's back before our boards.
It's before my time.
So it's back in our court, and I'll just say 2 things about it. One is to remember we will be acting as state agents when these come in. So even though we have our own regulations about DMV locations and approved uses and non-approved uses, that is separate from how we act. So there's some case law that we'll be end up sharing with you that shows you really, when you're acting as a state agent for when you're reviewing these DMV applications, you kind of set our zoning regulations on a whole other, just set it aside, take it out the window. You can act on it basically almost like a PDD, almost like it's its own thing. So we'll be following up with a bit more detail on that, but wanted to let you know. And then the second part to that is, even though we will be acting as state agents and reviewing these applications as they come in, it would perhaps seem wise, and we're going to touch base with Corporation Counsel, that we follow the plans set out in our POCD and the zoning regulations. That seems like a pretty simple path. So if a path says we want car dealerships in area 1, 2, and 3, if an application comes in for a DMV facility in location 1, 2, and 3, then that seems like a logical route to follow to consider it in that location. If it comes in a location outside that area, staff, we seem like we are less likely to pursue interaction with that application. But anyway, that's a update with more to come.
That's all of them? Is that everything? For the
That is everything for now.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I touch base. Where am I? And yes, the last bit was another, and so for all of these, we're likely going to have to make amendments to the zoning regulations. The limits for unrelated persons to live in a dwelling together as of right has been raised from 6 to 8 persons.
Huh.
And so there's a whole conversation we can have about fair housing law and the definition that we have in our zoning regulations regarding family and what is family and what is not family, and biases that swing kind of 2 different directions about when you're trying to determine what a blood related family is and not. So that's it.
Would this only come to us if somebody made a complaint? I mean, we're not going to go around counting who lives where and with whom.
Well, there have been a plethora of applications regarding very unique housing situations that we are actively managing.
Okay.
And so they may end up coming before you. I don't want to speak too much about them at this forum, perhaps in a work session. You guys will be a bit more engaged, but no, it is a very hot topic. I had 2 phone calls today, and over the past year, many more.
Oh.
And a lot of this is geared around seniors, living care facilities, and there's so many different camps they fall into. Is it a group home? Is it a nursing home? Is it assisted living? Is it a residential care home? Is it did I already say nursing home? Or is it just a regular single family home? Or is it boarding care? Or is it something else?
Yeah.
And each one allows local zoning input, some don't. And so that definition actually really comes into play, because if you were previously only allowed 6 and now you're allowed 8, it's an extra 25%, 30%.
Is this the state doing this, or?
That is a state law. Yeah.
They want to change 6 to 8?
It is changed. It is changed. Yeah.
It is changed.
Yeah.
It is changed.
Now you could have up to 8 unrelated people.
Correct. So the counter argument to that really is just, we don't regulate the amount of people that blood related families can have. So why would we regulate the amount of people that unrelated families can have, assuming they are functioning together in a single family house the same way?
Yeah.
That's,
A while back, there were questions about a particular location
yes, so
of
I'm not
River
gonna,
Road as being a boarding house.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Alex, what state agency made those changes, may I ask?
That's an excellent question.
Was it the Housing Authority? Was it?
That's in state statute that I'm referring to. So it's
They
not
come up from a committee.
correct. Let me actually, no, it's right here. Where is it? Okay, here we go. I can tell you the public act and the state statute number. I don't have a committee or board that it came from.
If
So
it's a public act, it came through the legislature. So, I mean, the legislature voted for it. It probably originated through the Department of Housing or possibly the governor's office. But if, you know, the way that you just said that, the legislature did approve it. So,
Right, but it came
Gotta
for
come up from
his
a committee.
approval through a committee.
Yeah.
right.
So,
Well, through an agency, right?
Right.
So the committee and the legislature for housing might be the planning committee, the planning and development committee.
okay. Anything else, Mr. Rossetti?
That's it for now. Thank you.
Okay. All right, comments from the chair and subcommittee. I have nothing to comment on at this time. I think my comments at the beginning of the meeting about our changes and with our alternates and our new alternates and the makeup of our commission staying relatively the same are sufficient. So Commissioners Kelly or Mato, do you have anything?
I have no comments.
Nope. Okay. Commissioner Mato?
Well, I said no. I think, you know, signs are an ongoing battle, and some of the businesses are getting to look kind of Las Vegas lighting-ish. So Peter and I had a little discussion about that today.
Mr. Rossetti, Mr. Baya had indicated to me a couple times that is one of his priorities is to visiting all the storefronts in town and making sure that they're not getting into the like Las Vegas kind of lighting.
Good luck with it anyway. And these signs that are coming to us that are already up, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, they do get penalized and they have to pay twice the application fee. What is, by the way, Mr. Rossetti, what's the application fee for signs?
It varies on square footage. So the bigger the sign, the more you pay.
Okay, so is Ms. Castro still with us? Just wondering if either of you recall, for instance, the Stone Gardens one.
I would imagine if
It would be
The-
double the cost. I didn't calculate it. I calculate after you guys make your comments.
Oh,
If we
okay.
have-
All right.
We should look back to when we approved the temporary banner for Stone Gardens, and I'm pretty sure that it was made clear that they had to come back in for the
It was.
permanent sign.
Yeah,
It was.
definitely. Yeah.
That is a discussion that Ms. Castro indicated to me that she had with the applicant. So, all right, there isn't anything else. Next item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. And I'd like to propose that we table the approval of them. Is there anybody that has any disagreement about that?
No.
Okay, so is there a motion to table the October 18th minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Parkin, seconded by
I'll second it, Commissioner
Commissioner
Kelly.
Kelly. So on the motion to table the October 18th minutes, Commissioner Ticky, Commissioner Mato,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner and myself will vote aye. Motion is to table has passed by a vote of 5-0. And seeing that there's no other item on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned as of 7:40 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Mr. Rossetti, I have a question for you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
everyone.
Good night.
My question is, who washes the windows? The windows behind you, they're
And you.
behind your head.
Oh,
Oh, gosh.
You're high.
Oh, my
Good night.
goodness. Good night.
Aren't you glad we're back?